Hey everyone, welcome back to Pajama Crafts, where I do crafts in my pajamas. I have a Cricut DIY for you guys today. It is also Dollar Tree.
Okay guys,
Yay!
so I am not a professional at the Cricut, but I really don't know much at all about it. But people have been asking so many questions and asking if I can do a tutorial and just show you guys what I know and what I'm doing with like the stencils and everything that I've been doing. So this is what we're starting out with. I found this at my Dollar Tree finally. I think they're getting the craft aisle, so I was really excited. I thought I could do an Easter DIY with this. It looks kind of, I mean, it could be kind of like an egg. I don't know. I was gonna put a bunny on it and write hop. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this string off, but I wanted to show you guys the size of what I am working with here. So sorry that my crafting room is a mess. I mean, I don't have a room, I have a corner, but it's a mess. So you're gonna get what you get here. But I'm actually painted on top of the cover of this, so sorry about that too. It makes it a little harder to see. But, and Bree and Zach are in the background eating, so sorry about that background noise too. But life, this is real life. So here we see that this goes all the way down to the 6, because people are asking me, how do you know what size to do your, oh Lord, what size to do your lettering? And so what I do is I take the piece that I'm gonna do the sign on, or whatever it is I'm making, and I put it on this mat. This is the mat that we're gonna cut on, and so this kind of goes with the grid of the computer. So I look at how big my sign is. This one goes down to the 6. So we have 6 by 8. You can see right here. So that's the size that we're working within. But you can see this one, you don't want to get anything too close to the edges here, because that's obviously not going to fit on your sign. So that's something to pay attention to as well. But what we do is we look at these squares here, and then we see on the computer here also has the squares when you go into like where you're gonna make your design. Sorry, I don't know how to record my screen. Hopefully in the future I will learn how to do that, but right now I'm just using my phone to show you guys what I know. So this is what it looks like when you go in to make a new project. And there's a few like icons over here. We have templates. This is so you can kind of make a project and say you were gonna make an apron. This kind of gives you like the dimensions, you know, so that you can stay within the dimensions of that and the design. I mean, there's so many things on here. If you want to make a camping chair, a design to go on there, like there's everything. So that's kind of cool. I haven't used that yet at all. Over here we have projects. This is where people can share their projects that they have made, and you can just go in there and get the design. If you have Cricut Design Space, you can either do the subscription, or you can do where you have to pay for each thing. The subscription is like $9 a month, I believe. And with that, you can also get these images. If you look over here, we can click on images, and we can put these into our designs. Okay, so if you have the subscription, you're able to use any of these images that you want. If you don't, then you're going to have to pay per image. I believe some of them are free, like they come with the design space, but a lot of them you would have to pay per image. So I do have the subscription just because it is definitely worth it for me, because I do a lot of DIYs with my Cricut. And then up here you can see categories, cartridges. I honestly don't even know what these are for yet. So confusing to me. I think they were like with the older Cricuts or something, but I really don't know how to use that stuff yet. So anyway, we have categories here for the images and everything you can go through, and like Father's Day, fall, all that. But what I like to do is just go right here and then search the images for whatever I'm looking for. So for this one, I'm just going to put bunny. And there was a bunny right there, but we're going to see if there's one that I like better. And then you're going to see all of this stuff is coming up. Sometimes if you're too specific with your search, it just doesn't work. Like, I realize you kind of have to be very broad, I guess. So I just put bunny. You could try rabbit too, I'm sure, and might come up with something different. But I used a bunny from here before that I liked. And I'm going to see if I can find it. Let's see. I feel like it might have been one of these. I want it to be like sitting up a little bit taller because, oh, here we go. That's the one I used, I think. I don't know if I want that one though. Maybe we're going to do it the long way. Anyway, so, and looks like I'm getting the bunny that was at the very top. So once we find what we like from the images, you click on it and then go to insert images. You can do more than one if you want to. You just click on all of them, whatever you want to do. And it takes it and puts it inside here. So now we can work with it. As you can see, we can change the size if we want to. Anyway, here we go. So remember our dimensions were 6 by 8. And I don't want my bunny to be like as huge as the entire sign. I want to add some other things on too. So we're going to shrink him back down a little bit. So I think we're just going to do that for now. And then you can go over here and click text, and we're going to write hop. Okay, so the font that I have it on right now is cursive. So I just wanted to show you guys this real quick. I learned this from Nicole from The Week's Nest. She has some really good videos too. I'll link her channel below so that you guys can check out her videos. They're really good for beginners, and they helped me when I was first starting on Cricut. And I will probably go back to them again for some things that I don't remember. But as you can see, when you do a cursive font, these letters, they're not connected. So we want them to be connected because it's cursive. So what we have to do is go up here. Make sure you clicked on the word. And go up, and you guys see it. I'm literally using one of Bree's books for a mouse pad because I don't have one. Okay, but we're going to go up here. And sorry, my mouse is being a little and we click ungroup. This allows us to click on each letter. So here we can move them and connect them. Okay. And there we go. I don't know. I'm gonna make this perfect here. Okay, so then once we have it exactly how we want it to look, we can connect it again. And then we go over here and we push weld right down here. Don't click weld until you know for sure that you have it exactly the way you want it, because otherwise you are not going to be able to unweld it once it's welded together. At least I do not know how. If there is a way and you know how, let me know, because I have no idea. So then we can still change the size and everything, we just can't ungroup them again. So I just wanted to show you guys that. I don't know if this is the font that I want to use. I think I might change it. And if you, but yeah, so once I welded it and everything, we can't change it. So I'm just going to X out of this, but I wanted to show you guys how to connect the letters. But we're going to do it again. Click hop. Right, hop. And then right up here, you guys will see you can change the font. And I think there's over 100 fonts. I'm not sure. So we're just going to pick the one that we want to do. Maybe, I saw one that looked cute. Maybe this one. Change it. And then you guys, you can also download fonts from other sites. I know dafont.com is a really popular one. I haven't done it yet. I don't know how, so I'm not going to show you guys that yet. But that's a cute font, I think, for this. So we can put that right there. And then we can try to center it a little bit more. And once it's exactly how you like it. Yeah. You can connect the whole thing. Oops. Moving the bunny. Moving the bunny. Oh, goodness. Okay. So we can go from up here and just connect the whole thing. And then we can come down here and weld it again. Oh, goodness, you guys. And once it's welded, this whole thing is connected and we can change the size if we want to. And it's just all connected instead of two separate things. Yeah. So our dimensions were 6 by 8. So we just want to make sure that we stay within that range. I think I'm going to go this way, 6 by 8. So I just want to stay in there. And then I can center it on my sign. But I think that would be pretty good. It's pretty cute. So I just wanted to do a really simple one to show you guys. There's also, I'll show you real quick, one of the things that I like to use a lot. You can click text again and do another one if you want to do it in a different font or just more letters and put them in a different spot. But let's pick a longer word. Let's see. Easter, I guess, since this is an Easter DIY. And I'll just move this over here so you guys can see better. We're going to make it a little bit bigger here. That's crazy. Okay. That's fine. We'll just do that. I just wanted to show you right up here. You can click curve and then you can move it one way or the other. This is what I do for a lot of my designs that I did so far. I really don't know much more than this, you guys. This is pretty simple stuff here, but yeah, I like the curve. So that is something that you can do if you don't, we don't want this, so we're just gonna exit out. But there's a lot of other things. Oh, another thing you could do, let's see here. Click on this. You can do flip if you have an image and you want it to be a different like direction. You can flip vertical or horizontal. So it's the other way, but obviously we want this right side up. That's pretty standard stuff. Okay, over here, this is what is called like the line item or something like that. And you'll see right here it says cut. If we come over here, I believe right here, oh, line type. If you click on that, you can change it to draw or score depending on what you want to do. So if you are using, oh my goodness, this is backwards still. If you are using, if you wanted to like use a pen or something, then you could do it and yeah, change your line type right here from cut to draw, and then you know you could, especially if you're like making a card or something, you could do it on a piece of paper and you have to put your pen in the Cricut and everything, and I don't know how to do that yet either. So I'm really just showing you guys the basics. I'm not the best person to be trying to teach you guys how to make this stuff. I really don't know what I'm doing, but enough people asked that I figured I will tell you what I know, and if it helps you out, cool. So that's all I'm going to do to make it. So now I'm going to show you guys how the Cricut actually works. Ignore all the dust on here. It's really weird, but we've been using humidifiers in the house and we have hard water and it's putting a white film on everything. So we quit that, but we have to clean still. But I'm just going to show you guys how I do this. I have a really small desk here. It's not even actually a desk. It's a cooler for outside, but Zach set it up for me so that I can use my Cricut on it, but I actually have to move my keyboard over to here, and you guys can see my whole messy craft corner over here and stuff here is barricaded with boxes and stuff so that Brie cannot get into there. But The reason I have to move my keyboard is because we need to pull the Cricut out away from the wall. And this lighting is really bad. I apologize. We don't have very good lights in our house, and I don't really have room to set up my filming lights over here. But I just moved this forward because you're going to need at least, I believe it's like 10, 12 inches behind your Cricut, because your mat is going to go out the back when it's... this is really bad. When it is, oh no. Oh my goodness. When it's cutting, sorry. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is press open. And it's gonna open up like magic. Beautiful. Yeah, it feels really weird on your hands. It's like the hard water stuff, and I'm really annoyed about that, but it's not hurt, don't worry. Then over here we have these buttons. So first thing we're gonna do is turn it on. It starts making a funny noise, it gets kind of loud, and it does this thing, it rolls around. Here I like to keep this on custom, but you can see you have, oh my goodness. But you can see you have these different settings here. If you're using vinyl, you want to put it to this one, or you can set it custom on your computer, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep it on custom because we're going to make a stencil. You guys have been asking how I do the stencils with the Dollar Tree contact paper. So that's what we're going to do in this project. So then what we do, okay, so here we have our design, and we see that it is in the parameters, I guess you could say. Let's just move it a tiny bit. Yeah, we're just gonna do, we want some room on the edges since we're gonna be painting. I like to leave a little bit of room so I don't get it on like outside of my contact paper. This is so hard to explain. Okay, but you can see that it is between 7 and 4, but we want to go at least like 4.5 when we're cutting our piece of contact paper, because we want to make sure we have plenty of room for the cut. Okay, so it is between, we want it between 7 and 4.5, so we're going to go over here to our cutting mat, and we want to get our contact paper that we're going to be using. I have this contact paper from Dollar Tree. The first time I tried to do a stencil on contact paper, I used clear, and that's really hard because when you're weighting out the letters, you can barely see them. So I would try to get the darkest that you can get. This is the darkest one they had at my Dollar Tree, and it's still sometimes hard to see where I need to weed out. But, oh my goodness, you guys. Just do the best that you can. So what I'm going to do, what I like to do is to put out the contact paper. As you can see, I've already cut into this one quite a bit. But we want to make sure that we get the right size so that we are not going off of the contact paper. This is really hard to do with one hand. Okay, so I cut my piece, and you can see that it's as big as I need it. I went way past 4. I went all the way to 5. I wanted to do at least 4.5, so that's fine. And then 7.5 down here. So we have plenty of extra space. And then what we're going to do is peel off this protective covering from our cutting mat. This one came with my Cricut. I don't have any other ones yet, so this is just the light grip. But it works fine for just stuff like this. So what we want to do is just stick the whole paper on there like this, and make sure it's all smooth. It's pretty easy when it's still on the paper to make sure that it's smooth. So next we want to put this into our Cricut. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do this and slide it under these little pieces right here, and you want to kind of push it down a little bit here so that when we are ready to load our mat, it's easy for these little rollers to grab your mat. Okay, so now that we have this all ready to cut, we're going to come up here. We have our little design that we made. We're going to go over here and we're going to click Make It. Okay, and then here it shows us exactly how it's going to print on our mat. I know there's a way that you can move where you want this. Oh, wow. Literally that easy. So if you wanted to use a different part of your mat, if your mat was not as sticky in one spot anymore, you can move it around. So anyway, we're going to print it exactly where we had it. We're going to go down here and push continue. But this should also show you again exactly where it's going to be on your mat. It has those dimensions. You just make sure that your piece that you have to cut is bigger than that. Okay, so we're going to go down here and push continue. Now it's just connecting here for a second. Then you can see, since I have this dial right here on the custom spot, it shows up like this. And so what we want to do, since we're using Dollar Tree contact paper, we want to put it on the washi tape setting. It's all the way down almost at the bottom, and I do this one right here. Washi tape 0.06 millimeters. So we click on that, and then we just push done. And we want to do that setting because if you use vinyl or some other setting, it's going to cut too deep and it's going to cut all the way through your paper. And you only want the sticky part cut, because if it cuts through your paper, then it's just no bueno. So here it's telling us, like, it's so easy. It literally just tells you the next thing to do. So we're going to load our mat. And like I said, just make sure it's kind of pushed in like this. I only have one hand here, but what I would usually do is hold this here and kind of put a little bit of pressure, and then you push this button and make sure that it gets all the way in there. Now you can see it's like grabbed onto it with the rollers, and that's what you want. If it didn't load correctly, you can push pause right here or just unload the mat. But if something's wrong and you need to stop the cut, this is where you do it. You push pause, and it's going to tell you if you still, like, if you want to pause it. Like, are you sure you want to pause it? And then you can push unload the mat, like, for yes. So if you're in the middle of your cut and something is going horribly wrong, you can pause it if you need to. So next we see right here, after we loaded it, the next thing to do is to cut it, and it's the next flashing button on our thing too. So like before, this one was flashing because that's the loading button and it wanted us to load it, and now the cut button is flashing because it's ready to go. So we are going to push cut, and here it goes, and then it tells you on your screen too how much time you have left on the cut. So it pulls it in there, and then it starts cutting. This is where your blade goes, and then this is where your pen, this is where your pen would go if you were drawing. And it came with one pen, but I haven't used that yet, so I can't tell you anything about that. But I know that this is called like your blade housing, and right now it's just cutting it out like magic. But oh, it's 100% already. But this is why you need the back part open, because as you saw, it was pulling it through. And if it's cutting all the way down here, or say if we had a really big cut and it's cutting all the way down here, you want to make sure that you have plenty of space, because it's going to pull it all the way in that far and it's going to be popping out the back. So you need to have space for the back, because it's going to pull the mat all the way through. Hi, sweetie. Okay, so now that this is 100%, we can unload our mat. As you can see, it's flashing now, so that means it's ready to be unloaded. So we click that, just pushes it right out. We can grab it, and then see if I can show you where the cuts are. It's really hard to see on this paper. Oh, there you can kind of see it. Where the light's shining, you can kind of see the bunny outline. It's easier to see in real life, but it is a little bit difficult on this paper. So if you could have like a solid color, that would be easier too. And I just get this from Dollar Tree because it's really cheap. But Walmart also has really cheap contact paper, like a lot, for $5 or something. So you can definitely do that too, and that might be easier. So now that we have everything cut, I'm just going to push finish over here. And then it's going to take you back to the screen where you originally did the design. And then if you want to, you can go up here and save it. So when I click save, I just like put in the random name that I wanted to have. Like, I'm not sharing this one with anyone. I'm just saving it for my own personal stuff, so I just put hop. It does say public, but when I save it, you'll see it'll say, well, maybe it didn't say it this time, but basically you have to add like a picture of your project and a few other words to actually share it with other people. So I just saved it like that, but then you'll see when I go to my projects here that it's in there if I want to use it later or if I want to add to it and share it. This is the only one that I've actually shared before, and someone already used it too, so that's really cool. And I might start selling my designs later. I just have so much going on and trying to learn everything, and it's a lot, so hopefully soon I will get that figured out and you guys will be able to get my designs too. I will do some of them for free because why not? It's fun. Like, I shared this one for free. That was my first one I ever shared, so why not do it for free? But I'm probably in the future. I mean, I'm not like a professional designer or anything, but some of them I really like, and I think that, I don't know, people might buy them. You guys are asking to buy them, so if I can get it figured out and everything, then maybe that might be something that I can do in the future. So here's one I'll show you guys that I'm gonna do coming up. But this is what it looks. Okay, let me show you real quick, actually. Okay, so when you click on the design, or when you click on the link in the video, if I leave a link of a design that I shared, or any project that you see on Cricut, when you click on it, this is what it's going to look like, and it shows you like all of the fonts that were used. And someone actually asked me about this font, so I need to figure out what it is. Anna's Fancy Lettering. Okay. And then you'll just click make it, and it will take you right here and show you exactly on the mat how it's going to look. So that's how that works. Just show you a little sneak peek of one that I have coming up that I'm going to do on a tea towel. Since this is my design, I can still click customize, and it'll bring it up over here, and I can change the size and things like that. But yeah, that's one that I made, but literally it's so easy. All I did was change the fonts and size of the letters for the different ones that I used here, and then I just use that curving tool to curve the letters right here. And then for these little dots, I just used a period. So, and I just like put it where I wanted it. So it's really, really simple. It just takes a little bit of practice. But if you're worried about, you know, you've never used it before or whatever, it's really easy, guys. I mean, to do a simple project like this, it's really easy. I obviously don't know what's going on for a lot of things on here still, but it's really easy and fun. So I'm going to show you guys how I cut out or weed out the stencil and then use it on my project. And then I'll kind of explain the difference with the actual vinyl versus painting with the stencil.
So some people are asking me about weeding and how you do it for a stencil versus the vinyl. So basically when you make the stencil, you want to take out the letters because you want the big piece. You want to be able to paint in the letters or the picture, whatever you're doing. So we want to take out the bunny and the letters that say hop. If this was vinyl and we wanted to transfer the vinyl onto our sign, then we would take off the outside part so that we would have the letters still on the paper. Now my clear contact paper is from Walmart. I can't find any at Dollar Tree, but this is a big roll from Walmart for $5. So it's still really cheap and you get a lot on there. I like using this for transfer tape. I've never used a Cricut transfer tape, but I know a lot of people just like clear contact paper better anyway because it's not as sticky, so it's a little bit easier to work with. So we just want to cut it out big enough to cover our entire design. So then we just peel that off and cover the design with our contact paper. And then I just take an old credit card or gift card or whatever, any old card you have. If you don't have the scraper thing, you just want to use that to make sure everything is pressed down really well so that your stencil will stick to your transfer tape or contact paper, whatever you're using. So since I'm using this sign the opposite way that it was originally intended, I just did go ahead and cut off that twine hanger from the back, and I'm covering this completely with white Waverly chalk paint. Now we just want to peel the paper off the back of our contact paper. Now you want to make sure that you do this a little bit slowly because we want to make sure that we don't lose any pieces, like the small pieces in between the O and the P. I like to just put it down really lightly at first until I am exactly sure where I want it, and then I press down as hard as I can with that card to make sure that everything is really in place and hopefully going to stick to my sign. Next, you want to peel back that transfer tape or the clear contact paper slowly, making sure that everything stays in place, especially those pieces that are not connected, like the small little pieces between the O and the P in the middle of those. Next, I'm using my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink to fill in my stencil. I like to use some small sponge stencil brushes. They're just flat on the bottom and they're really easy to use. I just dip it into my ink chalk paint, and then I just scrape it on the edge so that I don't have much in the sponge at all.
So now we're going to peel this off. I don't always let it dry all the way, but you know, enough that it's not going to bleed or do anything too crazy. But this contact paper, it's pretty thin, so sometimes it can rip while you're weeding it out or pulling this off. Some people asked me why I was weeding if I had painted it, and that's why, because sometimes this rips and I have to pull those pieces out. But also, as you can see, there's little pieces here that are in the inside of the O and the P, and so I'm going to have to pull those off of here. They're not attached to the rest of the stencil, so that's the reason that I have to weed these out. And then now we're just going to let this guy dry completely, and then we will distress a little bit, because y'all know no project of mine is complete without a little distressing.
Now, I've really been loving the color truffle and the Waverly chalk paint for distressing lately, and I just like to take an old brush and dip that in the lid of the paint, and then just, you know, you see me getting off as much paint as I can, and then just dry brushing that all over. I like to do a little bit darker towards the edges and then lighter in the middle, and I just think this turned out really cute. What do you got in there? Just putting things in and out, in and out.
Such a good little organizer. That one was in your way. Oh, gotta rearrange them. For sure. You put Daddy's Coke bottle in there? You're so silly. So silly.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it or you got anything out of it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more DIYs like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!